up downtown. Went up downtown. Went up downtown. I want to save my soul. I was walking out one evening late. Moon was rising high, headed for the riverside. Around us fuss and fry.
All right, welcome to this morning chat. We've got like here on the West Coast, I have there's 8 minutes before we go into the afternoon. Happy summer solstice. Today is June 21st, 2023. I am actually live streaming right now. I know that some of my coffee morning chats are pre-records that I re-stream, but this is I'm actually here in the moment. So if you want to participate or have any comments, please do make those in the chat. And you can hear my kitties. I was moving around, so whenever I start moving around, he starts, meowing and moving around, So if you hear him in the background, that's Orlando. So good morning to you, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is, wherever your time and place you're hearing this. Of course, theoretically, time doesn't really exist, but here we are. All right. I was looking at a video this morning, and I want to share it with you about having it goes into frequencies, and the theory of how well, you'll see it. I'm just gonna go ahead and share the video. So this is from a call to an uprising. All right. And there's a reason why I want to bring this topic up, because there is a puzzle, called there's a puzzle called Cicada 3301, that there's a composer named Thomas Schellenberger that has made some music, and there has been some claims from the sewer town from Paula Davis. I believe like maybe the last video I watched some of it, and there were music videos that were sent to Paula Davis that she claims were that were hypnotized scene, that that may have been part of like some sort of may have primed her for some sort of like mind control or having her mind messed with. And I think a lot of times when you hear these kinds of theories, that a lot of people will go, oh yeah, I don't think so, I don't believe that's possible, and you can't be hypnotized. A lot of people think that it's impossible to be hypnotized. And yet, we have hypnotists that work in comedy clubs doing stage acts, doing something to people that it's kind of a phenomenon in itself. But here we go. I'm going to get to the spot that I want to show you where he goes in. He starts with David Icke. And I know, like, David Icke is a controversial person. A lot of people think that he's completely bogus. But what he's saying here, to some extent, has a basis in science, really, even. Maybe not all aspects of it, but again, I think it's important to look at information with discernment, but at the same time realize that a lot of these people that have come forward and that we've been influenced by, we're saying some truth perhaps in their disinformation. That's my take on it. Okay, I don't know what yours is, but I think this is worth listening to. So here we go. Okay, wait, have I shared it yet? No, I have not shared it yet. All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch out my banner here. This is fair use, and we are just critiquing the video, and it is allowable by law. I know that's a really simplified form of saying this, but here we go.
Information electrically. It communicates with a cellular structure electrically, and it operates within a certain band of frequency. If you can broadcast frequencies carrying information, this technology has long been known, carrying information and perceptions within the frequency that the brain decodes information, the brain will decode those frequencies and will have those perceptions. You can externally influence people's perceptions externally by broadcasting these frequencies that we interact with, because we are antenna.
The sad reality is that where we now play our music is in A440. Where did that come from? It used to be 417. A440 came in with the Roman Catholic Church. They suppressed the frequencies. They lost somehow the 152 of the best Gregorian chants, including the hymn to St. John the Baptist, which we've now recovered. That particular hymn was what triggered Dr. Palaio's investigation, looking for those frequencies of vibration by which the music was played. It was known as the most uplifting hymn of all the ages, the most spiritually uplifting hymn. Hymn to St. John the Baptist. It was played to 6 tones. These are those 6 tones. These are those 6 frequencies. And so the A440 is what now is the standard tuning. If you go A439, you're closer to one of the Creator's tones. If you go A441, you're closer to one of the Creator's original tones. That's how precisely it has been manipulated. To do what? To shut down the 95% of your brain, particularly the right brain that operates the heart mind to the divine human community.
Some decades ago, there was a guy who worked out the frequencies of different emotional states. This is long ago. I mean, it's very, very sophisticated now. So Every thought, every emotional response is a frequency. It generates a frequency, and it is of itself a frequency. Hate is a frequency, and it's different to love. You know, when you are in a room and there's lots of aggression and conflict and hatred, you feel it. What do people say? Oh God, you can cut the atmosphere with a knife in there. That is because the frequencies of hate and conflict have been so generated, they have changed the electromagnetic field of the room.
When you go drive in your car and your channel on the radio is tuned to a station and you're grooving to the music, you love that music. As you get farther and farther away from the broadcasting tower, that music gets static. You start to lose the signal from the clear channel, broadcast, and it gets staticky. When it gets staticky, you get a little annoyed. But you want to listen to it. You really have a heart for that music, so you continue to listen to it for another 10, 15 miles, and suddenly it becomes so annoying that you just get disgusted, you go, ah, and you shut it off. And if you continue to listen to it, you get sick. That's what we're talking about here. Except you don't even know that you've been listening to the static your whole life. You don't even know what the true resonant frequency is because it has been kept.
Of course, to really be effective, we need to use the proper words and phrases, scientifically selected. But that gives you the basic idea. We embed messages just below the threshold of perception, so they can go directly into the subconscious.
They can play across a community these frequencies without anyone knowing, and it starts to have an effect, and it starts to build rage, it starts to build anger, and people might not realize why they're feeling it, they start to feel it. And then what they do is they trigger that with an event. Maybe some guy is attacked by the police or something, or somebody's arrested for something they didn't commit, and now there's the trigger. The blue touch paper has been lit of this manufactured frequency-driven rage, and you have mass riots and what have you, and people do things that they wouldn't normally do.
So in other words, the master composer, master conductor of the Universal Orchestra is singing love songs in 5/8, uplifting everything simultaneously. And we're the only species out of tune and accepting.
Okay, I want to I just had a thought there for a second. It makes me wonder if, like, you want to say, well, a sound or frequency or music even can cause a certain amount of rage in people, like affect a crowd. I used to always wonder about like the Beatles, when people were going crazy and screaming and out of their mind back then. Like you don't see that really happening at concerts like that anymore. And the reason why what's tipped me off to this is that recently people have claimed that they went to a Taylor Swift concert, and that it was so outstanding and so amazing that they are claiming to have had amnesia. They can't really remember what happened at the concert, which I think is really kind of sad, because it's like, you pay all that money to go to a concert and you're all excited, but then you can't take away the memories from it. It's kind of a letdown, right? I mean, part of the experience of going to a concert is being able to talk about how you were at that concert 10 years later and what happened or whatever. You want to take away the experience in your mind with you. And so to have amnesia is just, I want my money back.
I think static for the clear channel.
Do you know that the American military, they've admitted this. They have technology that fires frequencies at the enemy that basically breaks the enemy's spirit, so they give up and put their weapons down. This is the technology we're dealing with.
Taylor Swift fans are having literally amnesia from seeing the concert. And instead of being concerned about that, this has become a phenomenon where they're actually happy and proud and think it's pretty amazing. That just shows you the dumbed down society we live in. But let's listen to Good Morning America talk about it and actually try to explain this. Well, they actually try to explain this as if it's not a big deal.
Taylor Swift and her record-breaking Eras Tour. Some fans are claiming they have post-concert amnesia, saying they're having trouble remembering any of it all too well. Well, it's a story we first saw in Time, and Stephanie Ramos has more. Hello, Stephanie.
Hello. Hi, good morning, Rebecca. Post-concert amnesia apparently is a thing. Some Taylor Swift fans are saying they had such an incredible time at her Eras concert, they can't remember parts of it. And scientists say it stems from sensory overload. There's a haze Taylor Swift fans are feeling as the pop superstar travels across the country on her sold-out Eras Tour.
The concert overall exceeded every expectation that you could have imagined to have. It's just overwhelming in the best.
When I think of like sensory overload and then having amnesia, thinking about like the MK Ultra program, right? Where maybe like part of that amnesia or, you know, having that sensory overload. I mean, this is their theory. Right? I mean, they're just, where are the experts on this, really? I mean, David Icke, I mean, like, this is just kind of an odd thing, I think. And that's why I'm drinking coffee and sharing it with you today.
Best way.
Swifties posting on social media, the experience was so spectacular, they have shaken off some memories of the show, calling it post-concert amnesia.
I keep saying this happened to me. Apparently it's universal.
It's actually a neurologic phenomenon that can happen in any heightened emotional state. Is Taylor Swift fans are going to this concert, there's so much to be excited about, there's so much stimuli to process for the brain, and that can actually get in the way of forming and storing memories of that concert experience.
Wow, okay, so wait a second. So if you're studying for exam, don't watch any clips from Taylor Swift because you won't be able to remember the material. I mean, it's just like, that's just weird to me. I don't know about you guys, but that's just kind of weird to me.
Everyone that I've spoken with
it's so good, I can't even remember it. Should she bring her concert down, make it a little more boring so that people can remember what actually really happened to them while they were there even?
It's a similar experience of like, oh, that was too good to be true. I definitely don't remember that.
To have something like post-concert amnesia is really not such a bad thing. What it means is
how sad to not remember something that's too good to be true. Oh, God.
Your brain was so present in that moment that there was so much good, fun, exciting stimuli for your brain to process. There's so much stimuli to process for the brain, and that can actually get in the way of forming and storing memories of that concert experience.
Go ahead and smoke the cannabis. That's nothing. Short-term memory on that is nothing compared, I guess, to going to a Taylor Swift concert.
Everyone that I've spoken with has a similar experience of like, oh, that was too good to be true. I definitely don't remember that.
To have something like post-concert amnesia is really not such a bad thing. What it means is that your brain was so present in that moment that there was so much good, fun, exciting stimuli for your brain to process that it just didn't have the energy to focus on memory formation in that moment.
An experience, something you'll want to remember all too well.
Despite how little of it I actually do remember.
That's why we have video. Hey guys, if you can't remember where you're at or what you're seeing or what concert you're at, make sure to film it so you can watch it the next day. It'll be like brand new all over again.
Remember, it was awesome, and I wish I could do it all over again.
There was just too much going on, right, George? You know.
Actually, I mean, Harper
drugs involved, no nothing, just the music, and you can't remember anything about the concert. leave your what?
She had post-concert amnesia. She was so into it. That's her story. She is sticking to it.
There you go. Doctors say it isn't a concert-specific phenomenon, by the way. It can happen anytime you're in a highly emotional state. And guys, it is not just Swifties. Some of the Beehive is reporting the same thing is happening to them after seeing Beyonce. So, George, you got to go see Beyonce.
Oh, and Beyonce, too, is so phenomenal. People they're all laughing. They're all, no questions? Come on, man. Okay, whatever.
And report back to us.
Only if he dresses up.
Controversy, you all think this is funny and you're all laughing and giggling. We're going to cut to a commercial.
Taylor Swift.
All right, Stephanie, thank you so much.
Okay, and
So of course they laugh.
that's pretty much it. I mean, I just wanted to share. Basically, I'm wanting to share that with you today. I just find that interesting because like in this pocket of YouTube, there's discussion about frequency and how it affects you. And, we got David Icke talking about it. And then now we have the Taylor Swift concert phenomenon. And just the fact that you can be so happy and so overstimulated that it would actually take your ability to remember the experience. That's just kind of, it's almost unfair, really. It's like, like you can't remember your good experiences. Like, is it that the brain is not letting you remember the extremes? Because I know that the brain will suppress, trauma from you. And then that's how sometimes you're able to form a second personality. But I didn't realize that it goes in the opposite direction. So anyway, I just wanted to share this with you really quick. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time live streaming. Also, just want to let you know that I have two streams happening, more streams happening today on my Rumble channel, which I'll make sure that I put it. I will source in this video after I do finish this. There's part 3 on the Stephen D. Kelly, Carrie Cassidy brawl, a Not My Rabbit Hole analysis. It will be re-airing part 3 on Rumble. That particular live stream was like about 3.5 hours long. Also, later on tonight, Jerry Avalos will be my guest. I will be interviewing him at 9 p.m. He says, or he calls himself a super soldier test subject, which we're going to find out more about what that is during the show. But one of the main reasons that he's coming on is in that Stephen D. Kelly broadcast, Stephen Kelly kept throwing Jerry Avalos' name in there in association to Carrie Cassidy and the conversation of the Bilderberger Fringe Festival, where she called him and said that, that he had a hit out for him from the Bilderbergers. That will be, he has a few things to say about that. He also was participated in creating or facilitating the Super Soldier Summit that happened in Henderson, Nevada, where you had James Casbolt and Max Spears, and that big debut that happened. That apparently Stephen was also on that lineup, and there he's going to give his account on that particular event. And also, I believe that Jerry Avalos at one time had his own radio network, and that that was one of the first radio networks that he was on, was Jerry Avalos' network. And he has, his own personal experiences with Stephen that he feels that it's important to share now. So hopefully you will be tuning in for that at 9 p.m. This evening. And again, I wanted to bring up the power of music and frequency in the sense of, Paula Davis's claims, Pavana Davis, claiming that some of the music that Thomas Schoenberger sent her hypnotized her or did something to her. Based on like what I'm seeing in this news report about Taylor Swift, and what I showed earlier in this video, if you're coming late, it looks like that might have entirely been the possibility. So I'm going to go ahead and play my way out here. Hope you guys are all having a great Wednesday, and I really look forward to seeing you tonight if you choose to come to my live stream where I'm interviewing Jerry Avalos. Take care.
Save my soul. Went up downtown. Went up downtown. Went up downtown. I want to save my soul. Went up downtown. I went up downtown. Went up downtown. I save my soul. I save my soul. I save my soul. I save my soul. Save my soul. Oh, child, save my soul. Save my soul. Save my soul. Save my soul. Oh, child, save my soul. Save my soul. Save my soul. Save my soul. Oh, child, save my soul. 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 Went up downtown. I went up downtown. Went up downtown. I was walking out one evening late. Moon was rising high. Headed for the riverside. Around us fuss and fly.